Secretary John Kelly told the New York Times his one-time boss meets the definition of fascism.
This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best.
Vice President Kamala Harris says former President Trump wants a military loyal to him personally and not the Constitution.
One that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law.
Less than 2 weeks before Election Day, Harris has been barnstorming battleground states with former GOP officials in a bid to appeal to Republican voters.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A former Defense Department Chief of Staff, Kash Patel, is now senior Trump National Security Advisor.
It is absolutely disgusting for me, who ran the Department of Defense, to see the politicization of our members, of our men and women who wore the cloth of our nation to defend us and our freedoms, and then to come out at the 11th hour to try and make up more stories.
A Trump campaign spokesperson calls Harris increasingly desperate, saying she's lying and losing. Trump campaigns today in Georgia, where an early voting surge continues, now topping 2 million. That's turnout of more than 28% so far. Harris has a town hall event in Pennsylvania. The White House says at least 3,000 North Korean troops have been training in Russia, and there's concern they could be sent to Ukraine.
Russia is suffering extraordinary casualties on the battlefield every single day, but President Putin appears intent on continuing this war. If Russia is indeed forced to turn to North Korea for manpower, this would be a sign of weakness, not strength, on the part of the Kremlin.
National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says North Korean soldiers who join the fight would become legitimate military targets. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It could be a close race. Partly cloudy, 71 degrees downtown. Your radar's clear. You'll level over about 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The polls are showing the Indiana governor's race is a tight one. John Herrick reports on what's on the Republicans' mind.
We're going to win it if, in fact, our voters aren't complacent.
Republican candidate for governor Mike Braun in a Wednesday morning interview with WIBC's Tony Katz.
If they're complacent, then it's going to be tighter than what it needs to be. And that is the real depiction of where the race is.
Which is why he says he's been pounding the pavement and talking to Hoosiers in all 92 counties and will continue to do so until Election Day. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Day 5 of the Delphi trials included testimony from Dr. Ronald Kaur. He's who performed the autopsies of Libby German and Abby Williams. Dr. Kaur says Abby had a cut on her neck, showed some signs that her mouth was possibly covered by duct tape or cloth when she was killed. Libby had somewhere between 3 to 5 cuts around her neck. Richard Allen is the man accused of killing both of them. Much of the state's currently dealing with a moderate or severe drought. Some places did get some rain yesterday.
Places like Lafayette and up towards Kokomo, those areas did see some very isolated light rain showers and actually a few rumbles of thunder as well.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says there could be some more light rain that makes its way through parts of the state Friday. Tickets now on sale for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. IMS President Doug Bull says the renewal process for current ticket holders is between May and now, and it's staggering.
Renewals just continue to get better and better and better. Our renewals have been the best renewal that we've ever had, even better than 2016 for the 100th runnings.
He also says infield camping will be returning for the Sonigo GP weekend. Ticket and camping information can all be found at the IMS website. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 3:04.
As the leaves turn golden and the air grows crisp, there's something special brewing, something that captures the very essence of fall. Introducing Pumpkin Something, a smooth, spice-filled bourbon infused with the perfect mixture of allspice, pumpkin, clove, cinnamon, and ginger. It's the taste of autumn in a glass, a sip of warmth on a cool evening. Crafted with care and precision at Hotel Tango Distillery. Known for its commitment to quality and innovation, this new blend promises a unique tasting experience that celebrates the essence of fall. Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery is guaranteed to elevate any fall cocktail. Add it to your warm cider in the evening or to your fall lattes. You can do anything with Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery. Available for a limited time only. Visit your local liquor store and bring home the taste of fall with Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery, because autumn never tasted so good. Sip responsibly.
But traffic in the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
What's happening, Harrison? Looking at the east side, it is northbound 465. Had a crash there from earlier. That has cleared. Eastbound 70 slow from Harding into Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65 closed at West Street for the rest of the month for a bridge maintenance project. Traffic sponsored by Trade Heating and Cooling Systems. Trade Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit TradeInfo.com to find your local independent trade dealer. It's hard to stop a trade. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are
weirdos?
So let's rock.
All right, Hammer, on day 5, Delphi murder trial. The attorneys for Richard Allen, they filed a motion to admit evidence from the crime scene that they believe is connected. Here's this word again, Odinism, which is some sort of paganism, Norse cult, and ritualistic killing.
Now, previously, that was thrown out. Like the judge, Fran Gull, originally said, no, you haven't provided any sort of legit doubt or proof that this happened, so the judge said it would not be allowed in the trial.
So what's changed? Or at least what in the defense attorneys' minds have said, hey, let's give this another go?
Well, one of the state's witnesses was the Indiana State Police crime scene investigator, Brian Olahay, who testified that when he found the bodies of Abby and Libby, there were sticks over the bodies, and they were designed in a very strategic way, like cross or an X. Now, the prosecution is going to say it was just somebody trying to cover up the bodies.
Trying to hide the bodies, yeah.
But it was pointed out in the testimony that these sticks covering up the bodies and near the bodies seem to be organized in some way. So that is why the defense team for Richard Allen is trying to get the Odinism thing back into the court. Now, also today, taking the stand was this townie from Delphi, a lifelong Delphi resident. And she claims that before she learned that Abby and Libby were missing, she saw a man, quote, covered in mud and blood walking on the side of the road. And when the image of Bridge Guy, as he's known as, was finally released to the media, this woman recognized Bridge Guy as the person that she saw. And when asked why she took so long to go to the authorities with this, she basically said she had panic, she had fear, she had to talk herself into going to see the authorities.
But, I mean, okay, that's fine. Hey, that's the guy. I saw this guy. I saw the mud. I saw the blood. It's the same guy in the photo, but who is he?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out here.
To me, that doesn't help things on either side. Maybe one side or the other. But I'm just saying, oh, yeah, I did see that guy, but I was too scared to say something.
Now, the defense of Richard Allen is claiming that the local woman never mentioned blood in previous interviews because throughout the process of these last couple of years, she's spoken to authorities about what she has seen. And these conversations were recorded, and at no point is it recorded that she said anything about blood. Now, she says, I said blood, but it just wasn't taken into record. So it's a little he said, she said right now. And then after that, a pathologist came up who was talking about examining the bodies of Abby and Libby. And we'll get into this a little bit later on. But the big takeaway that I had from this was that a lot of the information about this investigation was conveniently, wink, wink, accidentally deleted. So when the defense is saying, hey, why did you say this or that? It's hard for them to go back and verify it because a lot of the recorded conversations have been deleted. And oh, by the way, the pathologist also, according to what the defense says today, met with the prosecution multiple times without meeting with the defense. So that's a big deal. And that's the latest of what's happening at day 5 of the Delphi murders. Turning our attention to the race for the White House, Nige, Kamala Harris did a recorded sit-down interview with NBC News.
Oh, hard-hitting.
Hallie Jackson.
Oh, boy.
And it was a lot of softballs, like you would expect, but there was an interesting moment. So Kamala Harris did not like Hallie Jackson basically pressing her on when she knew Joe Biden had lost all of his marbles, because she was talking about how smart and how brilliant he was up until the moment they all decided to basically shove him down the political elevator. Take a listen to this interview.
Can you say that you were honest with the American people about what you saw in those moments with President Biden as you were with him again and again, repeatedly in that time?
Of course. Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely.
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
What do you think?
I am running for president of the United States. Joe Biden is not.
It's a judgment question. That's why I ask. Can the American people trust you in these moments, even when it's maybe uncomfortable for Americans to level with Americans in that way? So that's why I ask. And it sounds like what you're saying is you feel like you never saw anything like that from President Biden.
I have worked with Joe Biden, hours and hours and hours. I speak with not only sincerity,
so that's why you're so
but
stupid.
with a real firsthand account of watching him do this work.
Yeah. All the lameness rubbed off on you then, apparently. She does make a good point. I mean, Joe Biden stepped down. I think he was voluntold.
Sure he was. There was
in a
no
roundabout way.
No way he wanted to
that's
leave.
What they hide behind is, he did it voluntarily. This was his decision.
But if you watch the video of that clip you listen to her tone, like there are some awkward pauses where you're just waiting for Kamala to get up and smack Hallie Jackson. You're supposed to be on my side, Hallie. You're supposed to make me look good. You're acting like Brett Baer. What the hell is wrong with you? So while Kamala was speaking with NBC News, Donald Trump had a rally in North Carolina, and Tulsi Gabbard was one of his special guests, and she had a big announcement on stage.
And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
Listen to that crowd reaction, that crowd pop right there.
She had left the Democrats to become an independent.
Right. The Democrats got too crazy for Tulsi Gabbard. And there's a lot of Democrats, I think, that feel that way. Now, he's still going to be a big lefty and vote for the left, but guys like Bill Maher, they feel like the party is ran by lunatics at this point. Take all of his personal life stuff out of the equation. The policies of Bill Clinton do not align with today's Democrat Party. It's too extreme. So good for Tulsi Gabbard. And my question to you, Nige, what was a better trade? Okay, what was a more lopsided trade? The Boston Red Sox selling Babe Ruth to the Yankees for just a couple bucks, or Liz Cheney for Tulsi Gabbard straight up during this election cycle?
I think the Republicans got the better of the deal.
Yes. Oh, not even close.
Right?
We get Tulsi Gabbard and they got Miss Piggy? Sure. 100%.
I believe someone called her trans Dick Cheney.
I mean, she looks an awful lot like her old man.
Well, they're related.
I mean, they look a lot alike, and now all of a sudden Kamala Harris feels like she's going to pick up key swing state votes by trotting the warmongering Cheney family out there. Okay, unique strategy.
Good luck.
Holidays right around the corner. A lot of people starting to post their job openings now. I know post offices always look for extra help around the holidays.
Big time. Official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show, Justin, says they need help bad.
Amazon just posted their list of holiday job openings, and whoo, there's a lot of them. Amazon has 250,000 jobs nationwide that are open, and Amazon is looking for you.
Amazon is now looking for 250,000 holiday employees. Are you able to toss boxes on porches, block traffic, constantly be tracked by GPS, and pee in a bottle? Apply today.
Sign me up. I can do all of those things. I could pee in a bottle. I could pee on the floor.
Could you poop in a bottle, though? That's the question.
Give me a funnel and let's make this happen. Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, Grover's looking at a crash. It is Beach Grove, Emerson Avenue at Grovewood Place. That's going to be to the north of Elmwood. Inbound 65 closed at west will be for the rest of the month because of bridge work. Eastbound 70 stop and go Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. North side eastbound 465 slowing from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up after 5 o'clock this afternoon, about 5:06, we're going to get Donnie Burgess in here from the WIBC newsroom, and Guy Relford's coming back, because I love having this news reporter, attorney thing going on when we're talking about the Delphi trial. So Donnie will have the latest updates. Guy Relford will provide analysis from an attorney's perspective. This is going to be good stuff. That's coming up a little bit later on. 72 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Got B&W in Speedway coming out to maintain my furnace, the yearly maintenance. Here's Hammer to tell you about B&W. Yeah, definitely one of the best Central Indiana American Standard dealers in town.
B&W HVAC, plumbing and electrical. Speedway, Indiana, make some noise. Fall, it's here. You're going to get some chilly nights. Winter's right around the corner. Make sure that furnace is safe and ready to keep you warm. B&W's dedicated team will make sure your heating system is in top shape. And when the nasty, freezing winter weather arrives, your home is going to be cozy and perfect. Visit bplusw.com/radio to schedule that appointment. Again, that's bplusw.com/radio, or just call 317-243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered, with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Hey diamond lovers, Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget. Not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Nigel. Hammer's right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Opening night, NBA season underway, and the Pacers start their season tonight on the road at Detroit. And joining us now from the Pacers, Eddie White. Eddie, another year of Indiana Pacers basketball, and I'm ready to go. I made my bet last night. Over 46.5 wins, Eddie. I made my bet last night.
I think you're going to be great. I think you're going to be fine. First of all, I got to say something. There's nothing better in life when Nigel calls you a special guest. I mean, I can die right now. That is one of the greatest. That's like a Nobel Peace Prize getting that. But you're dead serious. After last season, that exciting season, we had to go all the way to Eastern Conference Finals, a fun team, a team that is so likable, played so much with so much fun and grace, and played basketball the Indiana way, and then boom, that went right into the fever season. And holy smokes, those games were like a freaking playoff game. That was unbelievable. And it's like we're like dying. We want more basketball. Ever since the fever season ended, now we want basketball. And tonight, it starts. And again, I tweeted this earlier. Our long national nightmare is over tonight. The Pacers overtime, the world's greatest post-game show, is back in action.
Yes, sir.
By the wonderful host that they have, that brilliant, good-looking guy.
And you weren't joking either. I mean, talk about the fever games. Just every one of those games, even the regular season games, did seem like it was a playoff game. I know the NBA, the men's basketball, has a long season ahead of it. Sure, of course, I'd like to see the Pacers win their opening game tonight. But those fever games, every one of them were full, home and away, and they were all like a playoff atmosphere.
The energy in the field house for the Fever games was unfreaking believable, and it was like that opening night all the way through the last regular season games. Unfortunately, we didn't get a playoff game. That'll change. I think this team's gonna. It's not like this team's disappearing. I mean, that's the beauty of it. We have two teams that are very exciting. They're very good, and they're very, very young. So it's not like they're going away. It's not like the window is closing. The window is wide open, and I'm super pumped up for the Pacers season because I love the fact that Kevin Pritchard brought back almost everybody, and it's a team that, when intact and healthy, I think can play with anybody in the league. They proved that last year, and again, the Fever, they're going to get a good draft pick, and they're going to have another good season. So yeah, Gainbridge Fieldhouse is the place to be. in 24-25 like it was in 23-24.
Now, for those who unfortunately will not be either driving to the tropical paradise that is Detroit or listening to the game on The Fan tonight, our sister station, TV-wise, there was a lot of controversy about Bally Sports last year. Some people had it, some people didn't. I believe it's now FanDuel TV. Is that correct?
Yes, everything's the same. The announcers are the same. Everything's the same. The only thing that's different is the name has changed. It's no longer Bally Sports. It's the FanDuel Sports Network, I believe. But it's Chris, it's Quinn, it's Jeremiah Johnson, Eddie Gill. And, of course, the radio network will be the same with Mark Boyle and Eddie Gill and Pat Boylan. So everything there is the same. It's just a name change on the TV network.
And the first two games are on the road. Pacers are at Detroit tonight and then at New York, I believe, Friday. When's the home opener, Eddie?
That's Sunday afternoon at 3:30. In fact, 11 of the 13 games, the first 13, 11 of them are against playoff teams, which is challenging. But, I used to love when Larry Bird was our coach and then our president. Everybody's, all the media, myself included, we're all dissecting the schedule, saying stupid stuff like that, like, hey, 11 of the 13 are against playoff teams. Bird would look at the schedule and go, yep, 41 home, 41 away. All right, let's go. He said Red Auerbach used to look at it that way, and he looked at it that way. And he's right. It's a long season. That most overused word in sports, it's a grind. He's a grinder. It's a grind. Hey, the NBA season is a grind and a half. It's 82 games. All kinds of stuff happens during the year, injuries and, back-to-backs and all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm just so pumped up that it starts tonight. And, we know what basketball means in our state. And to have a team that's fun and young and that wins, man, it doesn't get better than that.
And it seems like these dudes, get along. They like each other. I read in the offseason, I think it was Pascal Siakam that had everybody go down to Florida, and this was an unofficial thing. No coaches were there, but all the players met with Siakam in Florida, and they're basically, working on the offense. They're running drills and stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible, the camaraderie that's been built. It started a couple of years ago. I remember when Kevin Pritchard said he'd never seen a locker room like that. And then I remember a year ago, I grabbed him and go, you know what? I've been in this business almost 35 years, and I got to agree with you. I've never seen a locker room where everybody genuinely cares about themselves or each other. They worry about each other. They're friends. There's no knuckleheads in there. And, one little secret, the original plan was not to go to Pascal's house, but they were going to Nigel's house. But Nigel had a party there, and it got a little out of control. And there was
I was wondering why the cops were called. Yeah. Everything was fine, though. Everything ended up being fine.
Tyrese had it typed into his Waze, the address and everything. He's ready to go. But then at the last minute, they called him up and said, no, we can't go to Nigel's. We got to go to Pascal's. Okay, let's make it work.
The Sixers are in town on Sunday. That's the home opener. Where can people get tickets, Eddie?
Oh, Pacers.com is where they go for anything. The tickets are there. Information about, maybe changes to Gainbridge Fieldhouse this year. Upgrade is on the menu. The menus are unbelievable. They had a tasting the other day. Holy smokes, I tried everything. There's a fried how the hell can I describe this? There's a fried hot dog deal that is unbelievable. It's imagine a hot dog in the middle of this fried thing. I don't know what it is, but it is unbelievable.
That's what it says on the menu. Hot dog with fried thing.
Are you talking about a corn dog, Eddie? Is that?
It's not. No, it's not a corn dog. It's a hot dog with a fried thing. And then their smashed burgers are great. And then there's a thing that got mashed potatoes and corn and meat all mixed in together. I mean, it's spectacular. But everything you want to know about the ball club is on Pacers.com.
Looking forward to the game tonight. Looking forward to the post-game show. Eddie White of the Pacers, we appreciate you.
You guys are all-stars. Love you guys. Be good.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Well, it's something scary to think about, but you have to talk about it because this is the truth. If you're single or a widowed woman, the stats aren't pretty. You run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. So the last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, but flat broke. Now you can discover the strategies that can help you ensure that you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. We don't put our names on just any random person here. It has to be somebody that is right for our audience and right for us. And trust us when we say you can count on Bill Demery. He explains things in a way that you can understand, and he's been really good for us. Call Bill Demery right now, 317-648-5120, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy, 317-648-5120.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He likes his chances, provided that people vote. 71 degrees, partly cloudy over the monuments. No rain on your radar, low of about 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox from Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Now is not the time to be complacent in the race for governor, says Republican candidate Mike Braun.
But if you're not out there pounding the pavement, which I've been doing nonstop, I do that more than any senator or governor generally, and I've done it for the last 5.5, 6 years.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz that he cares way more about the issues that affect Hoosiers than his opponent, in particular, Democrat Jennifer McCormick. Also, talking about Libertarian Donald Rainwater, too. All three are going to debate tomorrow. That starts at 7. Day 5 of the Delphi trials included testimony from Dr. Ronald Kaur, who performed the autopsies of Libby German and Abby Williams. Dr. Kaur says Abby had a cut on her neck and even showed signs that her mouth was possibly covered by some sort of cloth or duct tape. Libby was a bit different. More cuts, about 3 to 5 around her neck. Richard Allen is the man accused of killing both of them. Vice President Kamala Harris is talking about Donald Trump's ex-chief of staff. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
A day after former Homeland Security Secretary and White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly warned former President Trump meets the definition of a fascist, Vice President Kamala Harris called it a window into who her Republican opponent really is.
He does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Kelly says former President Trump made admiring statements about Hitler's military leaders. Harris says the former president is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power.
A spokesman for the Trump campaign has vigorously denied Kelly's accusations. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Work hard, don't break any laws, and you'll live a good life with Trump as president, claims his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Here's the crazy thing is my generation. I'm speaking particularly to folks in my generation and a little bit younger. Donald Trump and I, if you work hard and play by the rules, we're going to fight for your ability to afford the American dream of homeownership.
Vance is in Nevada today. Trump is going to try to get some more voters while campaigning in Georgia later this afternoon. The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.01. All according to GasBuddy.com, it's about 11 cents cheaper than the national average. Traffic and weather in 1 minute, it's 3:34.
It's starting to be fall in Indiana, the perfect time to tackle home projects you've been putting off before winter arrives. With Moss Roofing by your side, you don't have to do it alone. They're ready to assist with your roofing and siding needs, ensuring your home is safe and ready for the holidays. Let Moss Roofing, MOSS. MossRoofing.com. Give your home a serious glow up with premium James Hardy siding, tough enough to face Indiana's wild weather and stylish enough to turn heads on your block. And the best part, their free inspections come with a 3D design preview so you could see your home's stunning makeover before the work begins. Contact Moss Roofing for a job done right every shingle time at Moss Roofing, MOSS. MossRoofing.com or call 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 317-747-3665. That's 747-3665. Or online at Moss, MOSS, MossRoofing.com. And don't forget, tell them Tony Katz sent you.
With traffic at 335, what's going on, Matt Bear?
What's happening, Harrison? North side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic. Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Southbound 65 closed, and west it will be for the rest of the month for bridge maintenance. Reroutes, by the way, WIBC traffic. You can check it out. Eastbound 70 slows, Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And on the southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic at 72 Kentucky. Looking at a crash, Grover's Emerson Avenue north of Elmwood. That's at Grovewood Place. Also a crash, Pleasant Run Parkway south, just east to the east of I-65. That is a crash reported with injury and entrapment. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. The winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, hello, my name is Nigel. Hammer's here with a special in-studio guest.
So, homicides over 200 have become the norm in Indianapolis. The feds have just revised crime numbers up. So we thought, let's get some local folks in here and see what businesses and people can do to feel safe. And Hoosier Security is here. The president, the founder, Armando Perez. My man, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're doing great. And you guys are doing something that when I say it out loud, a lot of people might not have any idea what it means, but I think it's cool. You're using AI to help keep people safe. And I want to get into that here in just a moment. But how did you get into the security business here? Because you're the owner, you're the founder, you're the guy that's in charge of all this. How did you get involved?
I'll borrow the term, right? I'm the grand poobah of Hoosier Security. And in high school, I went selling alarm systems door to door, and I was so terrible, I sold zero. And I just thought, why not make a career out of this?
So you're the kid pounding on my door when I was 23, wanting me to buy an ADT system or something.
I was with
right?
a different company, but I was that guy for 2 whole years. I didn't sell a single alarm system, but I ended up getting 3 people fired because they were making promises, and I'm not all about making promises you can't keep. So.
And you took that success, and now you run Hoosier Securities.
Yes, I learned a few things along the way.
That's a story. That's an amazing story in and of itself. A true Hoosier story. You were horrible at a job, you kept working at it, and now you own the company.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually a musician by trade, so I take some of that creativity and put it into a pretty stiff business that in my industry.
So, press release came out, and it came across my email, and it said, Hoosier Security is using AI technology to detect threats and help prevent crime. So, talk to me like I'm 5 here, Armando. What does using AI technology mean when helping prevent crime?
Well, essentially, it means that our devices are smart. So instead of having a camera that just sees what happened, you come in after the weekend on Monday morning and you say, oh, look, somebody stole the catalytic converter. Somebody was doing donuts on the parking lot. Somebody lit the intersection on fire. Our cameras will detect that something is going on, and then we'll take action. So it's active security.
Active security in real-time situations.
In real time. If we see, for example, more than 10 people at a certain place and we know there's not supposed to be anybody there, we can intervene live and then dispatch IMPD or dispatch whoever the response is, private guards, whatever it is that you want to do. We do the same thing in schools. We do use this for vape detection when kids are vaping in the schools. We can use a sensor. We can dispatch the principal or the SRO. We also do
facial recognition, license plate recognition.
We do all that stuff, yeah. But really, like the exciting stuff is brandished weapons detection. So we can use a camera that can tell when somebody's holding a weapon. If they got it on their hip, no big deal. If they got it on their back in their backpack, not a big deal. As soon as they put their hand on it, now we got an issue, and we got to get more good guys there with guns.
Feels like a lot of things you just spoke about could be beneficial in schools.
Absolutely.
Right?
We do some work for a bunch of K-12s in Indiana.
Who do you like? Who's your major clientele? Is it corporations? Do you work hand in hand with the police? Is it private residents?
We don't do any residential unless it's a linked account, but it's all commercial, large commercial. K-12 is a big thing. We do a lot with IMPD. You guys know about B-Link, the camera program where there's private cameras that B-Link can ingest.
Sure, yeah.
Investigations, that kind of stuff. We're the largest B-Link partner in the city, and we've got more cameras than all the other integrators combined. It's not even close.
How clear is like this detection video?
That's a good question.
Because sometimes when I watch things on the news and they'll have a video, it's grainy, it's black and white. I have no idea if I'm looking at a person or a duck. How clear is this technology?
We can get all the way up to, I think, 60 megapixels at this point. It's pretty insane. Most people don't need that, and really what you're looking at is old school stuff that's been around forever, that's really grainy and dark, and you can't see anything at night. The stuff that we're doing now is extremely clear, and if properly designed, that's the key, right? People go to Costco and they pick up a camera for whatever, a couple bucks, put the thing up there, and then they wonder why they can't see anything 20 feet away from the camera. It's very, very different. The price point for what we're doing is considerably different than the stuff you pick up, at Best Buy.
But this type of technology could have been very beneficial a number of years ago in the Delphi situation.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking about this when you guys were talking about this on the air earlier. It's like, we've got cameras we can place anywhere and solar and batteries and all. We can run for multiple days in the middle of total darkness and not have an issue. Our trailers, we run analytics and video, smart video on the trailers. We can tell when people are going the wrong direction, when cars are where they're not supposed to be, when people are in a place that there's nobody there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden there's somebody there at 2 o'clock in the morning. We can alert, whatever the response is, either the person responsible or the authorities.
Any pushback on this? Like, I want to live in a safe community. I want there to be surveillance, but is there a big brother aspect to this that people complain about this?
I struggle with that every day because I'm small L libertarian. So to me, it's like I'm big brother. And I don't like this stuff, but I had to come to terms many years ago. The use does not negate the technology, and just because somebody's going to misuse technology doesn't mean the technology doesn't have a good place to do good in the world. And that's what we try to do, right? We try to solve problems. We try to work with IMPD. We work with the city, with the 911 center, with B-Link, and private businesses all across the state. We've got another office in Michigan. People still deserve to be safe at work, at home, and their commute, all over the place.
Speaking with Armando Perez, he is the president and founder of Hoosier Security. So let's say a business downtown calls your office. Do you custom your security plan based on the crimes that they're predominantly seeing, or is it universal? Let's say Coach's Tavern over here near the stadium, they've got a vandalism problem. But over here, on the corner, the hot dog vendor, he's got theft issues. Like, do you customize each plan to each vendor?
Oh yeah, everything we do is custom, and we just built this grand opening we just had. We had built this experience centers, first of its kind in the state. And you can come in and see all of the different technology, all of the different uses, all of the different stuff, and then actually build out the software so that it works. So before you've spent a penny, you can come into this experience center and spend half an hour with us and have a solution that you built yourself for the things that you're concerned about, whether it be people cutting catalytic converters off your trucks in your back lot, whether it be brandished weapons, whether it be vaping in the bathrooms, whether employee vandalism. I mean, we've installed camera systems at large manufacturing plants that the reason we installed the whole thing was because somebody was stealing lunch out of the break room. It's crazy. The number of things that we can solve is really incredible.
This might be more of a question for some sort of high-tech IMPD crime unit, but do you ever see it going the way of the Steven Spielberg movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise pre-crime?
The pre-crime
there's the precogs can prevent, the AI can prevent the crime before it even happens. It's a silly question, but I think you know where I'm going with it.
I know exactly where you're going, because it's not silly. It's something that we can do, and luckily, we've not just we, but The municipalities have held back on it because of all those questions, but we can take license plate recognition and facial recognition and preempt where somebody is going to be if there's a bolo out on somebody. Let's say somebody has abducted a child. We know what car they're driving. We can reference that license plate across the entire city or the country, honestly, and see what other vehicles are with that person at the same time. Then we can determine who's in that vehicle, and we can predict that based on the last 6 weeks, they've been at, 56 in Allisonville every Tuesday at 3:01 p.m. for the last 6 weeks. And we can intervene.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Go back to the Big Brother aspect, because some of this stuff, though, wears me out, because there's a lot of people on the YouTube chat, Big Brother, but I'm willing to bet they're probably typing this on an iPhone that they probably have, and they're listening to the show maybe on their device at home. Like, I get it. Nobody wants to be watched. I have no issues. If you want to see a good time, watch me. I don't care. But what would you say to somebody who believes in what you do, but they're just a little leery about Big Brother, so to speak?
Yeah. It's, I have to remind myself daily that the reason I do what I do for a living is to protect those that can't protect themselves. So children, that's why we do a lot in K-12. Employees who are, the thing about the FedEx shooting a couple of years ago, the people who were in that building didn't deserve to deal with that, right? So there's a lot of bad actors out there, and the way that we use technology is to protect those who need protected. We also do a lot by way of liability limitation and things like that. Nobody's out there watching these cameras just to see who's walking down the sidewalk, right? We're looking at this from a metadata standpoint to say, okay, there are 100 people in this intersection where we had spinning happening 2 weeks ago, and now we need to get IMPD out there to stop this before somebody gets hurt, right? It's not about invading privacy, and really that's why we're so limited and why we've gotten so creative in the last 10 years is you have to protect privacy. You absolutely have to. So we get really creative with how we do this stuff as far as license plates. For example, private entities that we install these don't have access to the NTHS database. So only the police have access to that. And if they're looking for a child molester, if they're looking for, an arsonist, if they're looking for somebody who just robbed 3 banks and is trying to get out of Dodge, we want them to have that access to that. But we don't want, we don't want T over at Coaches to have access to all that license plate information.
Right. So, got you.
It's fascinating.
If somebody wants more information on this, because I think this is fascinating, if they're a business owner or maybe they want this for their community, what should they do? Where can they go?
Criminalshateus.com. That's our web address. Criminalshateus.com.
That's brilliant. Yeah. That's good marketing there.
Any reason? I know we're up against it here. Any reason why you haven't dove into the private residential market?
We did
it's
it.
Inundated, probably. At this point.
It's inundated, and a lot of people don't really understand what it takes to properly secure something. When somebody's out there giving you an alarm for free and pretending like you're actually going to be safe, and we're a lot more expensive than that. That's not going to work. So,
Armando Perez, Hoosier Security. Armando, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm telling you, if you want to buy a home, you want to sell a home, don't do anything until you've checked out the real estate expert. That would be Mark Dietl. How about Ray in Indy? Needed to move in a hurry. He was out the door in a new house, but they left him with a big problem. That 2 mortgages. And he heard about Mark Dietl on the show and was ecstatic when Mark sold Ray's house for the price he needed in just 2 days. 2 days it was on the market.
Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
I just wish Mom could hear better on the phone.
Dad gets so upset with me when I call. I wish it were different.
The CapTel Caption phone from Relay Indiana allows you to speak into the phone and your words appear on a bright, easy-to-read screen. Conversations occur naturally with added clarity.
I used to love our phone chats. I wish it was like before.
Now it can be with the CapTel Caption phone. Go to RelayIndiana.com and call 334-1413 today.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Have you compared your options during Medicare open enrollment? Plans change each year, and so can your health. That's why it's so important to compare this year and make sure your drugs are covered. At Medicare.gov, you can easily compare all your options. Find a better plan, save some money, or both. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you need health coverage due to a life change, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it was there for Terrence and Jody when they got married, and Sophia when she had a baby, and Gary when he moved and needed new insurance. There are many other ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov today to see if you're eligible to enroll. Limited time to enroll. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Here's great news, Indy. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Call Rhino Shield at 888-RHINO-41.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Inbound 69 stop and go before 96 down to 82nd. Northwest side northbound 465 also slow. 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown for the west side. Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. That is an 8-minute delay. And on the south side eastbound 465 slow in pockets from 70 over 231. This is a crash on the south side. Pleasant Run Parkway southeast of I-65. Sounds serious. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
70 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Nigel, I'm going to play you an audio clip here. It's from CBS Evening News, hosted by Nora Mostly Peaceful O'Donnell. And I want you to listen to how she opened up the news and just see if you have a hunch, just a gut feeling of which political candidate she likes better.
Election Day is just over 2 weeks away, and the fight for every single last undecided vote in battleground states is intensifying. Vice President Kamala Harris is targeting disaffected Republican voters by hitting the trail with Liz Cheney in the crucial blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Cheney was a powerful Republican congresswoman, and today she called Harris a responsible adult. As for former President Donald Trump, he was back in North Carolina again, pushing false claims about FEMA and immigrants. McDonald's. That's after he spent the weekend slinging a crude insult at Harris, engaging in lewd locker room talk about the late golfing legend Arnold Palmer, and staging a campaign stunt at a Pennsylvania McDonald's.
Just a gut hunch here.
We're two quite. Those are like the complete opposite intros. I'm going for. I think she likes Kamala better. I don't know. I'm just stepping out on a limb.
Just a hunch. Yeah. How about this? Caller number 9 right now. You win 2 tickets to the World Food Championships.
Yeah.
The smoke, the fire, the meat, the barbecue. It's like the world's biggest tailgate, something for the whole family, sample after sample. November 8th through the 12th, Indiana State Fairgrounds. You can buy your tickets, worldfoodchampionships.com, but caller number 9 gets a pair, 239-9393.
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool, fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Cat sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Our Turn Back the Time sale has been so crazy good that we're now extending it through Monday, November the 4th. Everything from Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, dining, bedroom, it's all on sale at pre-pandemic prices with free delivery within 75 miles of our store. You will never see these prices again. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
Just because teens are tech savvy doesn't mean they're tech safe. They're facing increasing risks online from inappropriate content, bullies, even predators. Encourage the teens in your life to come to you whenever someone or something makes them uncomfortable online. Make sure your teens are tech safe. Go to InternetCrimesAgainstKids.com. A message from the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Sponsored by the Indiana State Police.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what's happened in day 5 of the Delphi murders trial. Indiana Governor Mike Braun likes his chances to win the race for governor, and why the state could use some rain and when you could possibly get some. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recyclers Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A pep talk in Philadelphia. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris stopping into the 4th Street Deli a short time ago to thank volunteers, telling them they're part of building a coalition.
And this is about the fact that we love our country and we are prepared to fight for the best of who we are.
She has a Pennsylvania town hall event later. Earlier, Harris telling reporters former President Trump wants unchecked power and a military that answers to him, not the Constitution.
And in a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails.
This after Kelly, Trump's former Homeland Security Secretary and Chief of Staff, said then President Trump told him he wanted generals like Hitler had. A Trump campaign spokesman accuses Harris of peddling easily disproven lies, calling her wholly unfit for office. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham just telling Fox News,
I'm tired of the Hitler crap when it comes to Trump. The one and only Jewish state on the planet is Israel. Nobody's more popular in Israel than Donald Trump.
Graham says he rejects the characterization of Trump made by several generals who served in his administration. Trump has a town hall and a rally today in Georgia. Some Senate races are tightening.
In Pennsylvania, incumbent Democrat Bob Casey's lead has vanished. Cook Political Report now rating it as a toss-up. Casey is also now running ads where he claims he supports some Trump policies. In Wisconsin, a similar story. Incumbent Tammy Baldwin's race considered a toss-up. She appeared with former President Obama the other day, but skipped appearances with both President Biden and Vice President when they were in the Badger State in recent days.
Fox's Mark Meredith. On Friday, Harris will campaign in Texas with Congressman Colin Allred, who's trying to unseat Republican Senator Ted Cruz. A sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow down 409 points at the bell, but that's off session lows. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Day 5 in Carroll County. Cloudy and 71 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a radar that's clear of any trouble. Low of 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Contradictions and inaccuracies have been the theme of this morning's Delphi trial testimony. Here's Donnie Burgess.
So here are the basics. The state says suspect Richard Allen is bridge guy responsible for killing teenagers Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Witness Sarah Cardall testified today to seeing bridge guy and saying he appeared muddy and bloody, but the defense pointed out inconsistencies with Cardall's reports over the years. Allen has also not been identified by anyone as bridge guy. Also, autopsy doctor Roland Kaur testified to changing his opinion on the murder weapon and not actually having a clear answer on time of death. Allen is charged with 4 counts of murder. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Now is not the time to be complacent in the race for Indiana governor, so says Republican candidate Mike Braun.
But if you're not out there pounding the pavement, which I've been doing nonstop, I do that more than any senator or governor generally, and I've done it for the last 5.5, 6 years.
Braun claims while talking with WIBC's Tony Katz that he cares more about the issues that affect Hoosiers than any of his opponents. That would be Democrat Jennifer McCormick and Libertarian Donald Rainwater. All three are scheduled to debate tomorrow. The state could use all the rain it can get, with much of it under a drought. Places like Lafayette and Kokomo, though, did get some rain yesterday.
But precipitation was very, very light and really didn't amount to a whole lot. But there was just a tiny bit of measurable precipitation.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says central Indiana could get some light rain on Friday. It may not help that much, though. You may be wondering how the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum is coming along. Remember, they announced a while ago plans to update the whole thing. Well, here's IMS President Doug Bowles.
It's on time. In fact, we're hoping it'll even open a little bit early as we start getting into Q2 of 2025, but really excited about the way it's going to tell the story.
It should be back open the beginning of April next year, just in time for the 109th running of the race. Tickets for that, by the way, now on sale. You can get them at the IMS website. 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, what are you looking at, Matt Bear?
Looking at a crash, Harrison, at southbound 69 shy of 82nd. And right now, the right lane is blocked, causing stop-and-go traffic back to 96th Street. Northbound 465 slows from 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go Holt Road into the south split. And on the southwest side, southbound 465 slows from 70 to the White River. Crash south side, Pleasant Run Parkway to the east of I-65. Traffic sponsored by Inbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right across from me with a very special in-studio guest.
Nige, the term American badass gets thrown around pretty loosely these days, but
American badass.
But somebody that absolutely checks the box joins us. Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Jaster joining us. Lisa is the first Army Reserve woman and third overall to graduate from the grueling U.S. Army Ranger School. Lieutenant Colonel, how are you? Welcome to Indianapolis.
Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for having me.
What are you doing here? Got the FFA convention going on?
Yeah, the National FFA convention's going on, and the Army has a huge display there, and I'm blessed enough that they were willing to let me, as a lowly Army reservist, to come in and kind of peddle my wares.
I think you're being a little modest here.
Yeah.
Nigel and I were having a conversation before you came in the studio. Like, in terms of seconds, how long do you think it would take you to just beat the hell out of me?
Well, I am sitting, so I'd have to stand up first. So it would take a minute.
It takes at least 10 seconds for her to get up out of her
10 to 15 was the window that we
choke you out.
Nice.
You graduated from the Ranger School at 37. What's the average age of like the trainee? It's in the 20s, right?
Yeah, 21, 22, and male. So, yeah.
And male.
And male. Not with kids and people who do Army full-time instead of part-time, like us reservists.
Is that what you were doing before?
So, yeah, I was a reservist, and I was actually in a unit that was a non-traditional unit. So I only owned one military uniform. I had to buy uniforms even just to go to the school.
Okay.
And take us through the process of what you went through.
Oh, well, how long do we have?
We got enough time.
Yeah, so it was really interesting, actually. Even just to get there was a huge challenge because as a female, the physical, like the pre-Ranger School physical, checked for parts that I didn't have and didn't check parts that I did have. So even finding...
It was a different time back then.
Yes. So it was just being one of the first women to go, it was a big deal getting through the door, but also being a reservist, I had to leverage my reserve network, which was fantastic and supported me, but to get all of the equipment and get the appropriate training to be able to go to the school, not only as a woman, but being 37 years old and having a family and a full-time job.
Talk about what the U.S. Army Ranger School is and what it means to be a U.S. Army Ranger.
Yeah, so Ranger School is... some would say the world's, but definitely America's most elite leadership training program. So that's where there's always some confusion because it's combat leadership, but it truly is leadership. So what they do at this 9-week school is the average workday is 19 and a half hours.
Okay.
You eat approximately 2,400 calories a day, which me as a 140-pound female,
That's not a lot.
I burn about 1,500 calories just sitting here. And that's when I'm calm, not when I'm hyped up on caffeine like I am right now. And so you walk an average of 200 miles in those 9 weeks.
An average. Like
over the 9 weeks, people walk about 200 miles carrying an average pack on their back, about 85 pounds. Again, 19 and a half hour work days. So it's a very physical school. And you're calorie deficient. So then you get tested in leadership tasks while you're there. And, you know, the Army's not trying to injure its leaders. So they're not shooting on us, but that's the way to add stress is you make people hungry and tired and really at their limits and then test them in leadership. So that's really in a nutshell what Army Ranger School is it's a test of your ability to lead in stressful situations. And then being an Army Ranger School graduate, it just gives me it's a piece of material I wear on my shoulder, but there's one of two ways you can address this piece of material is you can wear the tab or you can bear the tab. And those of us who want to bear the tab, we want to live a lifetime of service, representing the school and the other people who have gone through before us, to include my dad, who graduated in 1968 from the exact same school.
Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Jaster is in studio. She's in town this week for the FFA convention, talking all things Army with the Future Farmers of America. You can look her up online. Just an amazing resume. You served how many tours overseas?
3 combat tours and then 2 years stationed in Korea, in South Korea.
And at what point did you realize you had earned the respect of everybody around you?
You know what I'm going to tell you, Hammer, is that I'm still working to earn that respect.
It never stops.
I don't think you never earn it.
You never take it for granted.
But it's the concept of what have you done lately? And so I know we talked about it before we went live, but recently I did a 700-mile bike ride to raise money for Gold Star children through an organization called Team 1 Mile. And the idea of doing that is just because I went to Ranger School 9 years ago now doesn't mean I'm done. And not everything I'm going to do is going to be in support of the military, but if I'm going to properly bear the tab, I'm never going to finish. I'm always going to keep pushing.
And first of all, I love that you did that for Gold Star kids. I think that's fantastic. But Nigel, did you catch that? How casually? Yeah, I just did a 700-mile bike ride. I take the elevator from the 4th floor to the 5th floor here, and she's like, 700-mile bike ride.
I can barely get through a 700-mile road trip in a car.
Right.
Before I'm driven nuts. So you had a military background before, obviously. You decided to go to the Army Ranger School.
Yes.
And that were you in Iraq then, or was that after?
So I'm a class of 2000 West Point graduate. So I went to West Point from 1996 to 2000, was commissioned in the Army, and I was actually already an officer during September 11th. Soon after September 11th, I went to Kandahar, Afghanistan, came back home, brushed some of the dust off, and then ended up going back overseas, going into Iraq when that was what we decided to do as a nation.
Was there ever a moment where you thought, what have I gotten myself into?
Every day, but sometimes I'm talking about the Army, sometimes I'm talking about being a mom. So you never know.
Right. Both give challenges, right?
A lot of challenges.
Both give challenges.
So how old are your kids?
I have a 16-year-old man cub and a 12-year-old daughter.
I love the way she put that. That's exactly how my wife would put that in terms of our children.
Well, you guys are guys. 16-year-old boys are just crazy. One day they're mama's boys, the next day.
And they stink. Let me just tell you this. They stink. The smells coming out of 16-year-old boys, I'm sure it's probably worse than things you've seen overseas.
I've got a football player who also wrestles. So, yes.
So you know.
Honey, I'm buying you your own car because I don't want that stench in my car ever again.
And so tell me, your dad was an Army Ranger?
He was.
And like I don't know your background, so I don't know if he's still
Perfect.
around or not.
No,
Was he able to see you?
So that is a story where I'm going to say it really fast so that my eyes stay clear. So my dad passed away, but he was diagnosed with terminal cancer while I was in Ranger School.
Wow.
And here's the interesting part of the story is Ranger School is a place where anyone who goes at some point in time, they ponder quitting. And I had given myself quit criteria. There was no way I was going to quit that school unless I had a compound fracture in my lower body. Very specific, right?
Yes.
Right.
Or a death in the immediate family.
Yes.
And I got recycled when the other two women graduated. I had to recycle and go through, so I had to stay there longer. And I had my one phone call home, and I called home and found out that my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And the response I got was, hey, nobody in your immediate family died, so it doesn't meet your quit criteria. So I stuck through it. He was physically unable to come to graduation, but he did live long enough that I was able to bury my Ranger tab with him in his breast pocket.
Incredible.
And it was fantastic. And now my son's like, well, I got to go to Ranger School because Grandpa did it, you did it, and so someday I'm going to do it.
And how do you feel about that?
Overjoyed with pride.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Jaster in studio representing the Army at the big FFA convention here in Indy. One more thing here before we let you go. What's the most realistic movie, TV show about life in the Army? Or I don't know if there's one about Army Rangers per se, but the most realistic movie or TV show.
The best combat rendition, I would say for me is, I don't know if it's called Red Platoon, but Red Platoon is the book it was based off. And a friend of mine who's become my friend since this movie came out, Jericho Denman worked on it, and some of the actors in the movie were actually the soldiers who were involved in the event. So, yeah, I know the book's called Red Platoon. I'd have to look up the actual title of the movie.
Boy, I think whether you're a man or a woman, male, female, boy, or girl, your story is so inspirational that it crosses the gender line. We're always talking about gender in this day and age, Hammer, and I know there's probably girls that are looking up to you, but boy, there should be, I mean, every man, woman, boy, girl should be should hear your story. It's incredible.
Well, not to do a completely selfish plug, but Nigel, the title of my book is Delete the Adjective, specifically because I don't want to be known for being a female middle-aged Ranger School graduate. I just want to be a Ranger School graduate, and I want people to respect me for what I've done. So Delete the Adjective is one of my themes, and I pray to God that it works for young men, old men, young women, old women, and anything you can find in between.
How long are you going to be in Indy?
All the way through the end of the week.
Okay, and if somebody wants to come by and see you, you're over at the convention center, is that right?
We are at the convention center. There's a huge Army display. There's working dogs back there. I mean, if you look up, you can see the U.S. Army sign. Come back there. Lieutenant Colonel Jaster, I would love to talk with anyone who comes into the area.
And again, this might be a dumb question, but can anybody go to that, not just the FFA kids, or is that open?
It is not open to the public, but
okay,
they
for
do
the
have
FFA
to.
kids.
Yes, for the FFA kids, their family, people that are associated with their school who have bought, who've purchased.
And there's a ton of those people here.
Yes,
trust me.
They're walking around.
Yeah, they're here. They're here.
Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Jaster, thank you so much for your service. Everybody in our YouTube chat is talking about your story, saying thank you for your service.
And your father's service and your son's future service.
God
Incredible.
willing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Matt Baer standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, crash southbound 69 near 82nd Street. That is blocking the right lane, causing stop traffic back to 106th Street. Delayed time is at 10 minutes at the moment. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Also inbound 65 closed at West for the rest of the month, and that's because of bridge maintenance. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Holt Road to the south split. That is a delay time running of 11 minutes. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Any size soft drinks for $1. Wendy's has $1 soft drinks. Any size, anytime. Coke, Sprite, strawberry, Fanta, whatever you want. Any size soft drink for $1, gotta be Wendy's. Limited time only and participating Wendy's. Terms apply. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
70 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center here at 93 WIBC.
Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
If you are a single or widowed woman, well, the statistics aren't very pretty. You run into a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. Hello there, it's Terry Stacy, and the last thing you want to be is 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. I know Bill, and I trust Bill, and I'm so thankful that he was able to help my mom, too. I don't put my name on any random Joe, but I'm here to say you can count on Bill Demery. Call Bill at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Call Bill right now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there, too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
Rock and roll.
Big Nige.
Yeah.
Is this anything? A haunted house in Tennessee that has been dubbed the world's scariest. And a torture chamber is now open to the public. Just in time for Halloween, attendees even agreed to have teeth yanked out of their head and fingers broken during the experience. Here are clips of people going through McCamey Manor.
Nobody's gonna save you! You're all alone! Oh! Let's go!
it's really intense, and I don't think anyone knows what they're in for if they go here.
Sounds like an average morning at the Hogshead office. Sounds pretty par for the course there under Hogshead. Thomas Carl Cook was running things. No, this is a real thing, and like when they were talking about, you sign a waiver. Like at one point, visitors sign a 40-page document that warns your hair may be chopped off. Dentistry may be done.
Nope.
You may have a tooth extracted.
Nope.
Other warnings include wet conditions, physically demanding environments, close contact with creatures you might be touched, and very real and graphic scenes of horror. This, you look at the pictures of this thing, you have to be a real sadist to sign up. And they say if you make it all the way through, you win $20,000.
What happens if you don't make it all the way through? You don't make it all the way through?
You're allowed to leave at any point, but the pictures, it's disgusting. Again, only a sadist would sign up for something like this.
Now, in this 40-page waiver, do you get to fight back? Like, if you're coming at me trying to extract my teeth, we're throwing hands.
I believe, no, I think that's one of the deals.
Well, no, that sucks.
I think, like, when they're trying to extract a tooth, you have to just sit there and take it.
No. Hell no. We're fighting back. Is this anything? A 94-year-old woman from Detroit got to ride around the Michigan International Speedway in a souped-up Ferrari. 94, riding in the Ferrari.
How fast?
150 miles per hour.
Wow.
Here she is.
He told me in the car that we were up to 155.
Okay, even faster. What did it feel like?
Oh, absolutely wonderful. Yeah. I love speed. One time I just got a new car. My 2 children and myself were on our way down 75 to go to Akron, Ohio, to see my parents. And I said, Denny, watch out the back for the police. Deb, you watch out the front. I want to see what the car will do.
I got it. I think it's pretty cool. A 94-year-old woman wasn't scared to go 150 miles an hour, because I was at Kings Island last weekend. I didn't even get on any of those big rides. I got on a scrambler, and I about pooped my pants. The scrambler. We all know what the scrambler is, right?
Yeah,
when I say the scrambler, I mean, like, we did, like, I don't know if we talked about this or not. I think I started my kids a little bit late with the roller coaster game. So the biggest one we did was the Racer at Kings Island, which is still around. No Beast. No Orion there in the alien portion. There's another called Speed Demon or something like that. I don't know. We didn't do any of those. We basically got the county fair version of Kings Island. And again, the scrambler, I was terrified. I was smashing up against my 12-year-old son. I think he was smashing me, actually, because of the way, like, the gravity forces you one way or over the other. But I would never do that again. And that's the scrambler.
Have you ever been stuck on some sort of roller coaster before?
No. That would be my ultimate nightmare. I know
it's not fun, Nigel.
Yeah.
It's not fun
especially
at all.
with kids that are scared to probably get on some of the bigger roller coasters in the first place. If that were to happen, it's, we have to check him into a loony bin afterwards.
Last one. Is this anything? Somebody played a prank on rapper Cardi B, calling Child Protective Services and telling them that her 3 children were being abused. They came to her house with the police Monday night. Here's an edited version of what she has planned for whoever did this.
I promise you this. I'm going to sue Child Protective Services, and I'm also going to sue the person that did this, because I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to hire the best private investigator in the whole country, because y'all take joking too far. My kids live great. My kids have never been touched, never gotten hit. No matter how annoying they are, I never hit my kids. Every weekend, my kids go to Fly Zone. Y'all want a prank call? Y'all going to die. I'm not calling the cops on you. As soon as I know and retract that phone call, I'm going to beat the out of you. My baby father is going to beat the out of you because you thought it was okay to mess with our kids.
Cardi B.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that sucks. I think that's sort of a version of getting swatted when somebody calls the police and said there's something illegal or something, there's abuse or somebody's attacking somebody at this address. But the phone number, you can't trace the phone number for whatever reason, like VPN or something like that. But yeah, that would suck. Sure, of course. I don't know if she needs to sue Child Protective Services. They were just doing their job.
Right.
But you got swatted. That's what happens. And I'm not saying it's never happened to me. And mostly because I don't have a landline.
That's
true. You get swatted if you don't have a landline?
I haven't had a landline in years. Like, I wonder if any of my friends actually still have a landline. That's a great question.
I wonder why.
Allison, do you still have a landline phone in the house?
No, I'm trying to think. The only people I do know is my grandparents.
Yeah, right?
Truly.
Does Denny Smith have a landline?
You know he has at least 3.
I bet he's got 3 or 4.
Yeah, one for each room.
Hi, Denny Smith. Hi.
This is my landline. Hi.
Hi. Oh, okay, so last year, Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and completely changed the look and feel of my garage. Before, my old garage was cracked and dirty and uneven and faded. It's now 4 times as strong with this new coating they put over it. And it's not slippery either. It's not epoxy. It's better. They use polyurea for their coatings, the new premium standard for coatings. And now Galaxy's coming back, hopefully here in the next couple of days, to take a look at my basement and see what they can do with that furnace room. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They do your garage, basement, pool deck, or any indoor or outdoor area concrete. Get their website, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. The BX Series is the _1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or save up to $3,100. Now through November 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
My husband, Bob, has Parkinson's, and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care, and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. To learn more, eligible members call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
If you have a well, you simply have to have regular preventative maintenance, or you're going to have a no water event at some point. For a limited time, C&J is offering a 6-point inspection for only $845, and that's a full 15% discount for a flow evaluation, switch analysis, pump amps test, pressure tank check, leak inspection, and a bacteria sampling. Clean out before you chill out. Just call C&J. Great systems and great people too. 317-852-WELL. That's 317-852-WELL.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah? Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He thinks she's focused on the wrong thing. 69 degrees, cloudy over the circle. No rain to worry about on your radar, low of 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:33. In Indiana, the latest polls show that it could be a close race for governor between Republican Mike Braun and Democrat Jennifer McCormick. Braun, though, thinks that McCormick's going to lose, saying she's too focused on abortion.
That's not going to fly in the long run because you got other things like child care, affordable housing, rural broadband, not to mention cost of electricity and water.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz what he's focused on is how to lower some of your utility bills. Braun McCormick and Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater debate tomorrow at 7. WIBC will cover it. Day 5 of the Delphi trial has included testimony from Dr. Ronald Kaur. He's the man who performed the autopsies of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. Dr. Kaur says Abby had a cut on her neck and showed signs of her mouth possibly being covered with duct tape or cloth. Libby had somewhere between 3 to 5 cuts all around her neck. Richard Allen is the man accused of killing both of them. North Korean soldiers are training in Russia, but it's not known if they'll be joining the war against Ukraine.
We do not yet know whether these soldiers will enter into combat alongside the Russian military, but this is certainly a highly concerning probability.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says that if those soldiers did join the fight, it would show signs that Russia's desperate. Vice President Kamala Harris is once again criticizing Donald Trump, saying he's unfit for the White House and referencing his ex-chief of staff's words. Here's Fox's Gernal Scott.
Vice President Harris referred to retired General John Kelly's published words that the former president wanted leaders like Hitler's generals. The vice president took that to mean
he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
She also referred to the former president, saying he turned the U.S. military on the enemy from within, or as she said, Americans who don't agree with him. In a recent Fox interview, former President Trump named House members Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi among those enemies. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
And a tough day on the stock market. The Dow down by 409 to 42,514. The NASDAQ down by 296, closing at 18,276. And the S&P 500 dropping by 53 points, closing the day at 5,797. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:36.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code EASY, or text EASY to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code EASY.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text EASY to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The traffic at 4:37. Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at southbound 69. This is a crash at 82nd Street, blocking the center lane, causing stop traffic back to 116th Street. Also, northwest side, northbound 465, a bit of a grind, 86 up to 865. Eastbound 465, stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic. It's Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois, 18-minute delay on your travel time. Southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic. Sam Jones down to Kentucky Avenue. This is a crash. Carmel, 146th Street at Hazel Dell. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer, I thought this was interesting. One of the nation's largest newspapers will not be endorsing a presidential candidate this year. It's usually the norm. The Los Angeles Times is what I'm talking about, but Washington Post, New York Times, giant newspapers that people look at all across this country endorse a candidate. Well, when I say that, that means their opinion writers endorse a candidate. But the owner of the Los Angeles Times has said the editorial staff will not be endorsing a presidential candidate. There is no comment on the decision. My question, is this anything? Should newspapers be endorsing anybody, even though I understand it's the editorial staff?
If the editorial staff wants to do it, it's fine. But to me, the bigger issue is that one of the candidates is from California, and the biggest paper in the state, the LA Times, is choosing not to hitch their wagon to her. I think that speaks volumes here. Not even the LA Times wants to be associated with Kamala Harris at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it matters to me one way or the other. It's mostly going to be Democrats anyway that they would support if indeed there would be an endorsement of a candidate. You think the LA Times is going to endorse Donald Trump? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what the history is there. The paper had previously endorsed Democratic candidates in 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020. So, okay. Fine, whatever. I also...
But they chose this year to not endorse the Democrat candidates.
I didn't look at it like that. Very good point.
Donald Trump's going to be going on Joe Rogan's show. He's recording that this Friday down in Austin, Texas.
I heard Kamala's thinking about it too, though.
Rogan's got 14 million followers on Spotify alone. Once that episode comes out, that will be so big. This is a big deal. Like, for those who don't know Joe Rogan or podcasts all that well, this is a monster.
He's the biggest performer in his industry. I mean, he's a great comedian, but as far as podcasting shows go, he's the biggest there is.
And it's usually like 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours. He sits down with these people and they just talk and nothing's off limits and it's all recorded, and it's going to be interesting, man. I think Donald Trump has done a pretty good job at embracing new media this campaign.
Yeah.
Going on podcasts with Rogan.
He sat down with Theo Vaughn, of all people, which was a great interview. And Theo Vaughn's hilarious. He's got that redneck, I don't know where he's from, Carolina accent maybe. I forget where he's from. I somebody correct me on that, but just having him ask these kind of ridiculous questions, but serious questions, and hearing Donald Trump answer that. Go back and listen to the Theo Vaughn interview with Trump. It's pretty wild.
And from what I've been able to gather, it was Barron Trump that got the old man to do a lot of the podcasts.
Yeah, well, no, Theo Vaughn, I think specifically.
And there was some YouTube gamer or something that he did too.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but a big deal in the gaming world. So that was all the work of Barron, getting the old man out there in front of some new eyeballs.
Well, my first question for Kamala, if she ever came on the show, would be, hey, like back in 2019 or 2020, I'm sorry, when Donald Trump was trying to get the COVID vaccine together, you said you would never take the Trump vaccine. What happened between the election and when you said that? What changed your mind? Did something change in the mRNA vaccines to what, you know, that kind of always rubbed me the wrong way. You talk about COVID vaccine. I mean, I know this is coming out of left field. It just hit me off the top of my head, but like, you want to talk about causing fear of COVID vaccinations. It was the Democrats that caused the fear. Hesitancy. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's see. You were really hesitant about the vaccines until Joe Biden took office. What changed?
And see, my question would be, speaking of Joe Biden, you went from calling him a racist and a segregationist on the debate stage to working with him in just a couple of months. What changed?
Believing his accuser, his assault accuser, Tara Reid.
Right.
I can't recite the things that are published, that are on record in terms of, you know, the interviews Tara Reid has done and what he is accused of doing to her. I can't read it out loud, even though it's a newsworthy story.
Do you normally decide to go to work with and for somebody you think is a racist and a sexual deviant.
Oh, it was politics. It was a debate. Come on.
You disagree, you agree, you call somebody a sexual deviant, you call them a racist. What? If you're looking for a reason to drink today, Nige, today is National Slap Your Annoying Coworker Day.
Okay.
It's one of those made-up holidays, but this is the day. Slap your annoying coworker.
What are we supposed to do with that?
So, Allison, I'm going to defer to you here. This is where dreams come true.
Oh, my God.
You have your choice. You can walk over to Nigel's YouTube camera and slap him across the face, or you can walk over to my YouTube camera and slap me across the face.
Why?
Because it's National Slap Your Annoying Coworker
I don't think
Day.
I've ever slapped anyone before.
Well, give it a shot.
Pick one. Pick one. Who's it going to be?
Whose idea was this?
It wasn't mine.
It was mine.
All right, I'll do hammer then.
Come on. Bring it over here. And this is happening on the YouTube feed right now, which, by the way, we need 40 more people to like so we can get to 100. Allison is making her way over. Make sure you get right here. I'm going to take my headphones off just in case you knock them off my head.
Wow, taking the headphones off here.
Wait, okay. Am I in shot? Oh, God. I'm scared. Okay.
What are you scared of?
I don't know. I don't want to hurt him.
Just slap the poor
Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Go.
Ready?
Oh.
So sorry.
Wow. She really brought it. She really brought it.
That was great.
Wow.
I had to just do it.
For somebody that's never slapped anybody before, you sure had some pretty damn good form right there. Wow.
Bravo.
And
I'm so sorry.
And that is how you celebrate
man.
Slap Your Annoying Coworker Day on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
No question, when it comes to your HVAC, you got to make the right decision on who's coming out to the house, who's maintaining your equipment, what kind of equipment you're using, what kind of dealers, and this is where Hammer's coming in. He's going to tell you about the best in the business, American Standard dealers, built to a higher standard. One of those great, awesome, local American Standard dealers in Central Indy is
Absolute Comfort. Make sure you ask for our friend Chris Wedekin. Chris is an expert in saving you money on utilities. Absolute Comfort can help you with American Standard heat pump options that help you cool in the spring and heat when the temperatures drop this fall, all while saving you money and energy. Absolute Comfort's experts also help to make sure your home is zoned properly, thus ensuring your comfort and, once again, saving you money is taken care of. Contact Absolute Comfort today. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. American Standard, built to a higher standard. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girl sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swainco 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health.
From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
When it's all over, join WIBC and Tony Katz for Understanding the Election in 3 Bourbons, presented by Premier Arms on Thursday, November 14th. Enjoy bourbon, cigars, hors d'oeuvres, expert analysis, and plenty of laughs. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at WIBC.com.
The comments on Twitter and the YouTube chat about Allison just slapping the taste out of my mouth a moment ago are fantastic. Mark writes, that would make Will Smith proud. We'll get that posted up here in just a little bit. Matt Bear, how are the roads?
Southbound 69 on Good Hammer. It's a crash at 82nd, middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane. We are stopped back to 106th Street, almost to 116th. Delay time is 22 minutes. The other way, northbound 69 at 82nd Street. That's a stall on the shoulder, backing us up to 75th. Eastbound 465 jammed up, Meridian over to the White River. Northbound 465 stop and go before 86th Street up to 865. This is southbound 65 closed at west for the rest of the month because of bridge work. At eastbound 70 jammed up Holt to Meridian, Illinois, 17 minutes on the delay. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Let's do some Halloween stuff. Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff. Singer Ariana Grande has released an apology statement to Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, Nigel.
She the one that talks like this on that annoying Disney show?
Ariana Grande, yes. Yes.
Is she the donut licker?
The donut licker, yes.
As well. Oh, okay.
Very successful recording artist as well. But Cassandra Peterson, who plays the role of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, was doing some sort of Q&A at a Halloween event and talked about experiences with celebrities, and that's where this story came.
She came and she brought 20 guests. She wanted 21 tickets. We're like, okay. And we give her the tickets, and she comes backstage, and she asked if I could take pictures with all of her friends and relatives she brought. I take a picture with every single one of them. I sign autographs for every single one of them. Then I say to her, could we take a photo together? And she goes, no, I don't really do that. What? And then she left before my show started. All her relatives stayed.
So Ariana Grande brings 20 of her friends to this thing. They all want pictures with Elvira. And then when Elvira wants a picture with Ariana, she says no and leaves. That stinks.
Well, so at least she's apologizing.
She put out an apology saying you'll always be our queen of Halloween and blah, blah, blah. Now, I will say this about Ariana Grande. She does pretty good impressions. She's a solid impressionist.
Really?
She went on with, I think it was Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. I'm not sure. But they had Ariana Grande do an impression of Britney Spears singing the song Mary Had a Little Lamb. And that's all pretty much that is. Another one was Christina Aguilera doing Wheels on the Bus.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty good.
I mean, it sounds like Christina, right? But this one's my favorite. Again, Ariana Grande doing an impression of Celine Dion doing the hit from The Weeknd, I Can't Feel My Face. That's pretty solid.
Not bad.
Hey, coming up next, the best Delphi coverage in the city of Indianapolis. Donnie Burgess from the WIBC Newsroom. He's going to join us with the absolute latest, and Guy Relford will give an attorney's perspective on the new information. We did this yesterday, and man, this is good stuff. So if you want the best coverage in Indy, stick around. That's coming up at 5:06.
If you are a single or widowed woman, well, the statistics aren't very pretty. You run into a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. Hello there. It's Terry Stacy, and the last thing you want to be is 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. I know Bill, and I trust Bill, and I'm so thankful that he was able to help my mom, too. I don't put my name on any random Joe, but I'm here to say you can count on Bill Demery. Call Bill at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Call Bill right now.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
High taxes can erode returns quickly. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? Let Creative Planning help with a free year-end tax review. This personalized review will help you reduce your tax burden before the year ends. It's the perfect time to take proactive steps to optimize your tax situation. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio and request your free tax review. Act now. This offer is only good till Monday, October 28th at midnight. That's creativeplanning.com/radio.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Get ready to shake it off before the big show. Get your tickets to the Fearless Karaoke Brunch Fest at Nevermore Downtown on November 2nd and 3rd from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a themed buffet, bottomless cocktails, and endless fun. Sing your heart out with karaoke. Create friendship bracelets and compete in our costume contest. Tickets start at $40 for the buffet or upgrade to the boozy brunch for $75, including unlimited mimosas, sangria, and Bloody Marys. All ages welcome. Tickets at swiftbrunchfest.com.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, your premier gun store. Over 1,200 firearms in stock and the largest selection of used firearms in the area. Premier Arms is home of the Buy Room. This exclusive, private, and secure room is where Premier Arms will buy your estate or special collection of firearms and jewelry. Premier Arms and PA Jewelers, their one-of-a-kind jewelry store located in the same building, are the largest buyers of firearms, firearm collections, and estate jewelry in the Midwest. Talk to Premier Arms today, 3754 South Green Street, online at premierarms.com.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, Donnie Burgess tells you about day 5 in the Delphi murders trial. Why Republican Mike Braun thinks he's got a good shot at winning the governor's race, and just about the entire state could use some rain. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recyclers Studios. Cloudy with temperatures in the 70s downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
He's staying the course. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump holding 2 events in Georgia.
The biggest problem to me is the border.
During a faith town hall, also touting his record for Israel, including the Abraham Accords.
We've done a lot, and the single biggest thing I did was, you want to know, is get out of the Iran nuclear deal.
Trump campaign senior advisor Tim Murtaugh tells Fox News their internal polling has Trump leading all 7 battleground states, and that the Harris campaign is flailing.
Donald Trump is closing on a positive message that he's going to fix the country's problems, and Kamala Harris is closing on a message that Donald Trump is bad.
This as the vice president calls Trump increasingly unhinged and unstable after comments from a former top Trump administration aide.
A day after former Homeland Security Secretary and White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly warned former President Trump meets the definition of a fascist, Vice President Kamala Harris called it a window into who her Republican opponent really is.
He does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Kelly says former President Trump made admiring statements about Hitler's military leaders. Harris says the former president is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power.
A spokesman for the Trump campaign has vigorously denied Kelly's accusations.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The U.S. watching closely as at least 3,000 North Korean troops train in Russia.
If North Korean soldiers do enter into combat, this development would demonstrate Russia's growing desperation in its war against Ukraine.
National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says Russia's cooperation with the North Korean military already violates multiple UN Security Council resolutions. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Left with more questions. Partly cloudy, 68 degrees downtown. No rain on your radar. Low of 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Contradictions and inaccuracies have been the theme of this morning's Delphi trial testimony. Here's Donnie Burgess.
So here are the basics. The state says suspect Richard Allen is bridge guy responsible for killing teenagers Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Witness Sarah Cardall testified today to seeing bridge guy and saying he appeared muddy and bloody, but the defense pointed out inconsistencies with Cardall's reports over the years. Allen has also not been identified by anyone as bridge guy. Also, autopsy doctor Roland Kaur testified to changing his opinion on the murder weapon and not actually having a clear answer on time of death. Allen is charged with 4 counts of murder. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Donnie will have plenty more with Hammer and Nigel after this. Democrat candidate for Governor Jennifer McCormick is too focused on abortion, claims her opponent.
That's not going to fly in the long run because you got other things like child care, affordable housing, rural broadband, not to mention cost of electricity and water.
Republican candidate for Governor Mike Braun talking with WIBC's Tony Katz. He says his focus is on things like lowering your energy bills. Both Braun and McCormick, along with Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater, have a debate scheduled tomorrow. Nearly 3 million people in Indiana are dealing with a drought. John Havrick reports you might get some rain soon.
Rain is supposed to move through Indiana Friday morning. Just don't expect a lot of it.
Rainfall amounts as the system goes through will probably be a quarter of an inch or less. So not really a big soaking rain, but we could see a little bit of good measurable rain as the front passes across the area.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says the good news is you won't have to worry about strong wind gusts or severe weather. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may be wondering how the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum is coming along. IMS President Doug Bowles.
It's on time. In fact, we're hoping it'll even open a little bit early as we start getting into Q2 of 2025, but really excited about the way it's going to tell the story.
So it could be opening by April of next year. That would be just in time for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. By the way, you can already grab some tickets for that. Just check out the IMS website for more info. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. It's 5:04.
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool, fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Katz sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Baer.
Southbound 69 crash at 82nd Street. It has now cleared. Traffic still stop and go back to 116th Street. Front of the line is starting to clear out. Eastbound 465 stop and go Meridian to the White River. Downtown southbound 65 slow from 21st down to West Street, where southbound 65 is closed. West Street is really bad on the north end of downtown. As a matter of fact, with the FFA convention, West Street, Capitol Avenue, all prime real estate right now between I-70 and I-65. It's a tough go. West side southbound 465 stop and go traffic after Rockville Road down to Kentucky Avenue. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from Holt Road to the South Split. That is a 17-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Compassion International. Thousands of kids in poverty have waited over a year for a sponsor, and they're wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. The winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm with CV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here with a pair of very special in-studio guests.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom and 2A attorney Guy Relford. So we've got Donnie, who's been covering the Delphi murders and now trial from the beginning, just like our show has. And Guy is here to give us some perspective from an attorney. Now, Donnie, let me reset what we talked about earlier in the show, because in the morning session of day 5 in this murder trial, the attorneys for Richard Allen filed a motion to have the Odinism stuff brought back in. And their argument is, listen, the Indiana State Police investigator that was the first one on the scene said there were sticks around the bodies of the two young girls put together in a way that you might think could be ritualistic. So they're trying to get the Odinism stuff, which was previously not allowed, to be brought back in to the trial. And then the pathologist took the stand. And let me go to you on this. What did we find out from the pathologist?
So we found out from Dr. Roland Kaur is his name. We found out from him that we essentially don't have a clear answer on time of death or the actual type of blade used to kill Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Guy's immediately ready to burst. So Dr. Kaur testified, and I've got all the notes here that I've got tons of this stuff here that we can keep going through. But essentially, very contentious testimony between, I believe, Brad Rosie and Dr. Kaur over, okay, so you're the man. You have done nearly 8,000 autopsies over your decades-long career. So what can we find out about when the girls were killed? And he estimates sometime, he had the girls by February 15th, estimated they were dead sometime 40 to 41 hours prior. And it's like, okay, can we get any closer than that? And apparently the stomach contents that Liberty from her meal that day that she had, that was not brought up, or at least gone into any further clarity, and so he can't come up.
Were the autopsy pictures shown in the court today?
They were, yes. Okay. So we, again, more pictures of these two girls, all of the injuries. They went into great depth on that, which we can go into when we get to the blade. But long story rambling here is he has not. Rosie straight up asked him, you don't know when Abby was killed, do you? And he said, no, I don't.
And Rosie is the defense attorney for
suspect Allen. Richard Allen, yes.
Right. So, Guy, what does that do to you if you're a defense attorney?
Well, when Donnie first said, that the pathologist said we don't actually know when they were killed, I reacted to that, as Donnie noted. But it sounds like they've narrowed it down to within an hour. 40 to 41 hours.
Yeah,
before.
those were the numbers floating around.
That's not unusual. To narrow it down within an hour is pretty good. So because there's really no way, especially that time, when that much time has elapsed, to go back and say they died at 12:32 and 37 seconds. That's just not going to happen. To get it within an hour is not bad.
But the defense will again try and use this for everyone just catching up to attack the timeline of events as laid out by the state of Indiana. They promised in their opening statement to try and prove the girls were killed not on February 13th, as we've all heard for the last 7 years, but February 14th. And so that's where they're going to try and loop this in.
Well, that's such a great point, because what Donnie's saying correctly is that the fact that the pathology's doing the pathologist is doing a decent job at being a pathologist, still what he's able to testify to can potentially cast doubt, and reasonable doubt, on the prosecution's case.
Now, let's get into murder weapon here, because, again, we know these girls were stabbed. That's been reported already. That's not new news. Slashed across the throat. Did we find anything else about that today, Donnie? Was it one knife? Were there multiple knives? Could they confirm any of that?
So it appears from everything that I've gathered in notes and heard throughout the day, this doctor's opinion on what weapon was used over the years has changed. And because the state of Indiana says that Richard Allen used a box cutter. The defense claimed in their opening statements that two blades were used, a serrated and non-serrated. And so during this testimony, and you'll have to bear with me here as we're, developing all this and going through these notes, just right here, he says, Rosie asked you, so you couldn't determine any type or length in depositions, and the doctor says anything from a pocket knife to a kitchen knife. No way to tell if it was right or left-handed. And the doctor later testified that he can't be 100% precise, believe he was 100% precise in his deposition. And apparently he did share this change of opinion with the prosecution, but this change of opinion was not shared with the defense.
All right, so hold on. Stop right there, because I think that's a big deal. You're telling me that the person that was looking at the autopsy and the pathologist in question here, the person on the stand today, met with the prosecution but did not meet with the defense?
Yeah, that seems to be what came through today. And I mean, even here, the doctor said, Rosie said, so after your deposition, you went back and kept thinking about it and eventually changed your mind. And the doctor said, well, I said they weren't classic serrations. I was unsettled because they weren't classic serrations. So what could have caused these marks? And that's where we're at.
An important point is Donnie's referring to a deposition. That's a statement under oath where all the attorneys are present. So this guy was an expert identified by the state who submitted a report and then was deposed. In other words, all the lawyers get to show up, ask him questions under oath with a court reporter there, stenographer there, and recorded. So the defense had an opportunity to ask him whatever questions they wanted within the rules of evidence at a deposition. What it sounds like Donnie's saying is that after his deposition, he changed the opinion that he had testified to in the deposition.
Yeah,
and
I've got that page here as well.
And that's not what was shared subsequently with the defense team.
And how damaging is that if you were the prosecution?
Well, very, because it allows a defense lawyer to say something that like, well, that means you were just wrong when you testified under oath, correct? But you know, the comeback is, well, no, I researched more, I studied more, I learned more, and you know, I reviewed more evidence, and that led to me to reach a different conclusion.
Guys, something you said yesterday I think is really important to remind everybody. You don't have to find Richard Allen was completely innocent. You have to provide reasonable doubt.
That's what it's all about. You're exactly right.
If you're the defense team here, you're saying, now, wait a minute, we weren't allowed to present the Odinism defense, but the investigator had said that there were sticks specifically designed in a pattern around these girls. And now you're telling me the pathologist only met with one side and not the other.
Yeah, and all of that, you're exactly right. That all is going to be used by the defense to say there's reasonable doubt all over this case. The Odinism thing, was that attempted to be reintroduced today, Donnie? Or
we're still waiting on Judge Gall's decision on that.
Well, let me tell you how that works, too, because Donnie correctly has reported that a motion in limine was granted. That means a motion was brought before the trial ever started that says this piece of evidence can't come in. And Judge Fran Gall agreed with the prosecution and said, no, that can't come in. But a motion in limine is not a final order. Because typically, in this kind of situation, in order to introduce something like an alternative theory of somebody else did it, like these cultists, that has to be based on something other than mere speculation and conjecture. It's got to have some solid basis in the evidence, right? Some credible basis in the evidence. So you can easily say, well, no, that can't come in for now until you establish some foundation for it through some credible basis to say it was Odinism or somebody who practices Odinism, and that can come out during the trial, and she could easily change her ruling in the middle of the trial. Judges grant motions in limine all the time and then change their mind once the evidence comes in.
And so the last piece I want to touch on with that blade here is, and I hopefully everyone can see this here. These are the notes from the media pool reporters. Rosie, after you left and changed your mind, did you ever call me back? No new report at all. And did you take your, changed opinion to the prosecution? Doctor says yes. And Rosie says, you can't say a box cutter was used. And the doctor says, not definitively, no. And down here, the doctor says, a supplemental report would be speculative in nature, not definitive. And Rosie says, either way, it's all speculation.
And what this shows is the expert witness, quote unquote, is playing favorites. He's communicating with the prosecution when he's not communicating with the defense. That shows bias, and that can be used by the defense team a million times over.
All right, let's check in with Matt Baer over in the WIBC Traffic Center. We're going to continue this conversation here in just a moment, okay? We're breaking down all things that happened today in the Delphi trial. Donnie's got more information, and we also have to talk about the witness that took the stand today claiming they saw Bridge Guy. So we will do all of that coming up. Right now, Matt Baer's got to look at traffic.
Yeah, Hammer, Crash clear southbound 69 at 82nd. Stop and go traffic back to 106. Eastbound 465 jams after Meridian to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Holt Road to I-65. That is a delay of 23 minutes. And I'm telling you, man, west end of downtown, inside downtown, is an absolute zoo right now. You have the southbound 65 closure, people trying to navigate around that on the downtown streets. And you have the FFA convention on Capitol Avenue on the south end. Combined, it's really hard to get out of downtown here this afternoon. You can expect that for the rest of the week. Please be safe. Please don't hit anybody. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Any size soft drinks for $1. Wendy's has $1 soft drinks, any size, anytime. Coke, Sprite, strawberry, Fanta, whatever you want. Any size soft drink for $1. Gotta be Wendy's. Limited time only. Participating Wendy's. Terms apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. More on day 5 of the Delphi trial. Donnie Burgess, Guy Relford, Hammer, and Nigel. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt's son Kevin says one simple saying from his dad affects him every day at work.
Especially when you go out and do sales and service calls and collect money and do all this stuff that's important to a lot of people. He always said the number one thing I remember from him is just fair and honest wins every time.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Royal Spa hot tubs are simply better. Come into any of our locations and make the salesperson prove the superiority of the Royal Spa product.
Royal Spa.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm Nigel. Hammer's here. Guy Relford is here. Donnie Burgess covering the Delphi murder trial, day 5. Donnie, real quick before we get to the heart of what we learned today, more graphic photos shown at the trial this afternoon, and obviously the reactions of the jury and the courtroom, the court members are probably very, very emotional.
Today, the autopsy photos were shown of Abigail and Liberty, and of course, the family they turned their heads, they're upset, and the jury has had essentially same reaction they did when they saw the crime scene of some are uncomfortable, they're turning away, they're covering their mouths. So it's been a very emotional reaction to seeing those pictures.
And just based on your reporting, all the pool reporting notes that you're getting from, the colleagues all working together, this is the state's time right now. This should be where the state is presenting all of the information, and it seems like this thing is a mess. Guy, as an attorney, do you get the same feeling here?
You really do. I mean, what I tell clients all the time as a defense attorney is that when the prosecution's putting in their case in chief, just expect those to be bad days, right? You just expect, because they're leading with their strongest evidence. Typically, they're coming in with their strongest arguments. They're everything at the beginning, and in fact, during jury selection, one emphasis you always want to make as a defense attorney is just keep an open mind. They get to go first. They're going to present their evidence first, and it's going to be really easy to reach a conclusion early. But keep an open mind. You got to promise me to do that, and that's so much of your pitch. Here, it's almost like the defense is scoring more points during the prosecution's case than the prosecution is.
And, Donnie, one of the things we've not talked about yet, with you anyway, is the testimony from a local resident in the Delphi area who claims she saw Bridge Guy.
Yeah, so Sarah Cardall was there. She was passed by the area. She saw Bridge Guy. And not only that, she said she saw a group of people near what they call the Mears entrance. It's a family, the Mears family, who owns property nearby. So collectively, everyone calls it the Mears entrance. And apparently, she saw a group of people, including a blonde-haired girl wearing like a pink hoodie. We're not sure who those people are yet. There's assumption it was the family looking for the girls at that time, but not sure yet. But she did see Bridge Guy. But what the defense just hounded her on today was inconsistencies with what she told police in 2017, 2019, and now.
And the reason there's inconsistencies is that the information had been lost or deleted from the police, right?
Yeah, so it appears Cardall's one of her earliest interviews, that was one of the ones lost by the state of Indiana, which has been confirmed by the prosecution itself. That
remind everybody what happened here, because again, this sounds like something that would be on like an episode of Andy Griffith or something.
Yeah, so it was early on in the investigation, and I can't remember, for some reason, the number 70 hours worth of videos and testimony, and not testimony, just interviews within the first few days
witness interviews.
Yeah, that number's coming to mind. If I'm wrong about that, I will correct it later. But that was lost, taped over, as I don't know what they were. I can't remember what they were using. Certainly hope it wasn't like a VCR or something. But taped over, lost. That stuff is gone, including men who were interviewed as suspects early on.
And by the way, in Indiana, if the other side loses evidence, you can request and often get a jury instruction that says, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution has lost evidence in this case and lost track of it for whatever reason. You shall assume that any lost evidence was favorable to the defense and adverse to the prosecution. You
Is
could
that how it
assume
works?
That if the judge has to decide it's the appropriate circumstance, and the argument exists here of, well, it wasn't the prosecutor's office, it was the police who aren't on one side or the other. But as a defense attorney, I'd absolutely be making that motion and making that argument.
And Donnie, going back to this local woman that testified, the dispute is whether or not she said bridge guy that she saw had mud and blood. But the testimony she gave to the police, at least the ones we have that weren't deleted or lost, don't mention blood.
Yeah, so she at first said that he was covered in mud, and she tried to say that, hey, I remember saying it, but then the transcript was put in front of her, and she was like, okay, well, I don't see it in here, but I did say blood. And they're like, well, no, it's not there. And then when she was re-interviewed a couple years later in 2019, that transcript was put in front of her. Now she's saying the word blood over and over again in 2019, but she's not saying the mud part. And so what the defense is really hounding on is your descriptions, these things are not reliable. You were giving these different, and people might say like, well, why does mud and blood matter? Well, it matters because this is going to be the individual who, if there's blood, well, some killing was done. She even apparently said the words, it looked like a hog was slaughtered. And so in the mud part, clearly, someone in the woods or whatnot. So inconsistencies, that's what they keep coming back to.
We got about 30 seconds left here, Donnie. Just sum up the big headlines that came out of day number 5.
Day 5 was almost a repeat of day 4 in a sense of more inconsistencies, more ammunition, figuratively, for the defense to say reasonable doubt, and a little bit more ammo for them to attack the state's timeline of events.
Guy Relford, 30 seconds, your takeaways from day 5.
Well, again, I mean, what you don't expect in the middle, especially even at the beginning, particularly at the beginning of the prosecution's case in chief, is for the defense to be scoring more points than the prosecution. That's really rare, especially when the prosecution has had this long to put their case together. You would think they would come out airtight, especially at the beginning. You want to lead with your best hitter, right? You want to lead with your best evidence, and that's not what's happening here. There's reasonable doubt right now all over this case, and I would be shocked if the jury didn't think so too. At this point, as Donnie keeps saying, we got 3.5 weeks to go, so we all need to see what else comes in.
Donnie, if you're not in court tomorrow, we'd love to have you back here at 5:06. And Guy, you've got an open seat. If you can join us, that's great. If you have to be on the phone, that's great. But we love your perspective during this time as well.
Appreciate it. I'll see what I can do on that.
All right. Coming up here in just a moment, Tony Kennett will join us. Right now, Harrison Silcox has a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More testimony. Partly cloudy and 67 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You got a clear radar. Low of 41 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. His answers lack clarity. Donnie Burgess reports on witness testimony in the Delphi murders trial.
Dr. Roland Kaur conducted the autopsies on Delphi teenagers Abigail Williams and Liberty German. He testified Wednesday that he cannot settle on the time of death, nor does he have a consistent opinion on the type of blade used to kill the girls. Rape kits were used for both girls, but no apparent evidence of sexual assault was present. The defense claims suspect Richard Allen is innocent, and the timeline of the murders laid out by the state is incorrect. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Democrat candidate for Governor Jennifer McCormick is too focused on abortion, so says her opponent Mike Braun.
That's not going to fly in the long run because you got other things like child care, affordable housing, rural broadband, not to mention cost of electricity and water.
The Republican talking with WIBC's Tony Katz. He says he's focused on lowering energy bills for Hoosiers. Both Braun and McCormick are scheduled to debate tomorrow night. Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater also going to join the pair. Officers are investigating after a missing soldier from Indiana was found dead in Missouri earlier this week. Here's Sasha Nixon.
They say Sergeant Sarah Roque of Ligonier, Indiana, was reported missing from Fort Leonard Wood Monday. She was a bridge crew member and mine dog handler for the 5th Engineer Battalion. At this time, it is not clear what led to her death. The Department of the Army Criminal Investigation Division is now looking into the matter. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Former President Donald Trump thinks the Biden administration has struggled with keeping the border secure.
The biggest problem to me is the border
where they allow murderers into our country, they allow prisoners into our country, they empty out their prisons from all over the world. And to me, it's the biggest problem that we have.
Trump in Georgia today. A Fox News poll gives him a slight edge over Kamala Harris. Election day is November 5th. Much of the state's dealing with a moderate or severe drought, despite some parts of it getting rain yesterday.
Places like Lafayette and up towards Kokomo, those areas did see some very isolated light rain showers and actually a few rumbles of thunder as well.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says there could be some light rain showing up in central Indiana Friday. We'll see if it helps. With traffic at 5:33, here's Matt Baer.
Stop and go traffic on southbound 69 because of an earlier crash. 106th Street down to 82nd. Eastbound 465 stops after Meridian over to Allisonville Road. Southbound 65 stops at 21st Street. That's because of the closure on southbound 65 at West, and that'll continue on until October 31st. Hopefully early in the morning is when that will reopen. Eastbound 70 jammed up before Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. 15-minute delay, and the west end of downtown is absolutely trashed right now with traffic. We look at southbound West Street backed up past 10th Street all the way down to I-70. Remember, we have that closure of southbound 65 and the FFA convention going on near Capitol Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we're looking at clear skies overhead and low temperatures dropping around 40 here in Indianapolis. Likely a little cooler outside some of the larger urban areas. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
He is an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal, and he's also the host of the Tony Kennett Cast every Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, right after our program here on WIBC. Tony Kennett joins us. Tony, before we get into the news of the day and some things you may have an opinion on, a little birdie told me that you may or may not be planning to go 24 straight hours live on the election. Did I hear that right?
Whoa.
No, you absolutely did not. I am, however, making my producers go 24 hours. What we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, to screw the little guy. So the idea is that we're going to go until at least 1 in the morning, and then I'm going to make a decision. Now, the problem with Tony at 1 in the morning is he makes bad decisions. So I might go 24 hours into the next day, but I'm supposed to be on air in St. Louis and several other places morning after the election because, Hammer, you want to place a little bit of a bet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not much on gambling, Tony.
Yeah, I know. When I think of the least degenerate person in the state of Indiana, I think Jason Hammer. So, okay, here's my bet. 1 o'clock, November 6th, that's when the winner is announced.
Whoa.
I'll take the over.
1 p.m.
I'll take the over. Now, we may have some unconfirmed stuff. We're talking about a confirmed winner, right?
I'm going to say this. I want at least 3 major networks calling the race. 3 major networks. And I don't mean the LA Times. I mean, like, I want 3 networks that, let's just say, you and I could agree on that are major networks. 1 p.m., day after the election.
I'll take the over.
Okay.
I'm in. You
right.
son of a you-know-what, I'm in.
All right, $100 on it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Let's go. You came on our program a couple months back now, it feels like, because we're right around the corner. The election's less than 2 weeks away. But you jumped on with us a couple months ago and said, listen, I've been to Michigan. You know, you went up there when the strike was going on. You spoke to people on the ground. You said Michigan was in play. And then you came back and said you believe Michigan will go for Donald Trump. Do you still feel that way?
Not only do I say that, I think that of the blue wall states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, you know, the ones that Kamala can't list all 3 of, that of those 3, Michigan is the most likely to go to Trump.
More so than Pennsylvania.
Yes, and the reason I say that is because Michigan has more UAW dudes than just about anywhere. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pennsylvania, fantastic steel industry, but a lot of it's been hollowed out. Michigan still has a fair amount of industry going for it, and I think that because the lack of suburban woman voters in Michigan that there are in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, I think Trump, at least from what I'm reading right now, I think Trump carries Michigan.
But I think there's one key component you're missing here, Tony, is that Kamala Harris has the endorsement of Liz Cheney.
Whoa!
Lest you forget, the Cheneys are fully behind the Kamala Harris-Tim Walz campaign. Does that move the needle for anybody? Like a serious question here, not being sarcastic, but what's the thought there behind that specific endorsement?
So Kamala needs to moderate, right? Everyone knows this because in 2019 she ran as left of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And then she had to walk it back, but she never did because that would make her admit she's wrong, and she would actually have to argue why what she switched to is better, which she'll never do. So if she can't actually moderate, she's going to give the appearance of moderating. So she gathered the least popular Republicans in the country, which is no small feat. And I will say this, though, guys. This is just poetic justice. You're talking about moving the needle. I'll tell you what moved me deep down in my soul is watching Kamala and Liz Cheney sit on stage and watching Liz fight back either vomiting or tears because she's sitting next to someone who is not only nuking her chances of winning the presidential election, but also nuking any future that Liz Cheney might have in any way, shape, or form.
So, Tony, we talked about this earlier in the show, and I want to get your opinion here. On the topic of Liz Cheney, what has been a more lopsided trade in history? When the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees, or this year when the Republicans and Democrats made a trade, Liz Cheney goes to the left and Tulsi Gabbard comes to the right?
Oh, man. Okay, so you got to remind me. Who did they trade Babe Ruth for?
Oh, they just sold him. The Red Sox were cheap bastards, and they just sold him to their biggest rival.
That's what I thought. So they just traded him for like a lump sum of money, then. And that's the stupidest. I don't know. Oh, man. I would be really hard-pressed to ever hold such a scornful moment in the American sports history. But I got to tell you, man, Tulsi Gabbard, the Maverick, the woman who gutted Kamala like a mule deer at the Democratic primary, and now this is amazing. If you would have told me a couple of years ago that I would be seeing end-of-campaign season rallies with Nikki Haley, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, dude, I mean, this is an actual star-studded cast. I mean, forget dragging whatever weird old radio host that Kamala's dragging out onto Sirius XM. This is actually some good stuff from the Trump side.
Yeah, don't forget, Donald Trump put on a McDonald's apron earlier this week.
I loved that. Well, it was staged, Nigel.
No way. You're kidding.
Trump didn't even fill out an application. He didn't even go through an interview with a pimply nerd that's about 17.
What? That's
I
not
love
what I'm
this
hearing.
is the argument that the left is making less than 2 weeks until the election. We're not talking about the border. We're not talking about crime or the wars that we're funding. It's that Donald Trump's McDonald's appearance was staged.
Which I love because, he's gone through at least 2, probably 3 assassination attempts at this point, and that's not even counting the Iranians. And he, it's like, we're not going to, screen everyone who comes through. Kamala Harris literally bought out entire diners and put their own people in there sitting, waiting for her with their organic cell phone videos. But all of a sudden, Trump shows the world that now we have exactly one presidential candidate that's worked at a Mickey D's, and all hell breaks loose? Give me a break.
Where's your we're speaking with Tony Kinnett, host of the Tony Kinnett Cast, also a writer for dailysignal.com. Overall, big picture, where's your head at with the election here a couple of weeks out? I mean, at this point, it doesn't even look like Kamala Harris is campaigning much this week. Donald Trump is all over the place, including McDonald's. Just maybe your 30,000-foot perspective of what you're seeing here happening in the country.
I'm very confident, but I'm not overconfident. And I'm a little aggravated, actually, at my fellow party members at the moment. And a lot of pundits, because I'll say I'm confident, and they'll immediately throw up their hands and go, whoa, Tony, don't get overconfident. No, obviously, I know Trump doesn't have this in the bag. I'm not suggesting that we throw a Hillary Clinton and leave out Wisconsin or something. What I am saying is that right now what Lara Trump is doing and the new leadership at the RNC, coupled with the extremely disciplined campaign strategy of the Trump campaign and the down-the-ballot races, guys, I got to tell you, I want to tell people that I am confident that we are at the moment winning because I want to see this Republican Party from now until the end of time. This is how you win elections.
So with that being said, I'll be the negative Nancy here. What mistakes could Donald Trump or even Kamala Harris make between now and Election Day?
Yeah, I mean, Trump can always get out there and, talk about Kamala Harris' boobs. I mean, that can be a thing. I mean, seriously, that's how these stories start.
You can't rule that out. You can't.
Fake breasts. Fake boobs.
Baggier than Betty White. It's horrible.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, he could get out there and say that. He could. Now, do I hope he doesn't? I'm praying religiously that he doesn't. Right now, we've got every single Democrat from Gretchen Whitmer to Adam Kinzinger and that poor Kuntz guy running against Josh Hawley, not to mention Kamala and Tim Walz, that are making themselves national embarrassments every single day, both with stuff from their past 10 years ago and, shooting a reporter yesterday.
Okay, so hold on to that. We got to take a little break here. I want to get into a Democratic Senate candidate.
This is crazy.
Shooting a reporter at an event with Adam Kinzinger. Yes, this is something that actually happened. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. Tony Kennett is with us. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the CapTel caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. $10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Indiana has nearly 2,800 pig farmers and ranks 5th in the country in pork production. Hoosier pig farmers are raising some of the finest pork in the nation. October is National Pork Month. From family farms to innovative operations, Indiana's pig farmers are committed to quality and sustainability, all while providing your family pork that's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals that are good for you. So the next time you're at the grocery store or your favorite restaurant, make pork your choice and celebrate Indiana pig farmers.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of becoming part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer is southbound 69. That's mostly cleared up. Still slow from 96 to 82nd, but that crash did clear. Looking at southbound 65 coming into downtown, it's stopped from 21st to West Street because, well, you have to exit a West Street because of closure. That's going to be going on for the rest of the month. It's a bridge maintenance project if you're trying to get out of downtown to your preferred interstate. West Street going southbound is booked all the way from I-65 down to I-70. It is bad in the Avenue, no fun, including New York Street, Michigan Street. Not only do we have that closure, but we also have the FFA convention on Capitol Avenue on the south end, so the whole thing is gridlock at the moment. Inbound 70 slows, Rural Street to the north split, crash north side, Ditch Road north of 91st, that's at Emily. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
66 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Tony Kennett of the Daily Signal. He's also the host of the Tony Kennett Cast, 7 o'clock right after our show here at 93 WIBC. So in Missouri, the guy running against Josh Hawley had this big event with Adam Kinzinger because, of course, they did. Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, the Democrats' best friends now. And at this event, a reporter was there covering it, and Lucas Kuntz, he's the Senate Democrat running against Hawley, accidentally shot a reporter. And he's using a scope meant for like 100 to 400 yards away for targets only 15 feet away. So he did something wrong, didn't get the eyesight right, and he capped the reporter. Now he's okay, but this has not been a good stretch of Democrats handling guns, has it, Tony?
I'm going to point this out. If you need a scope for a 100-yard shot, you shouldn't be handling a firearm. I'm sorry. There's no rifle that you need a scope for 100 yards. No, iron sights all the way, baby. Number two, I just have to point out how hilarious it is that after all of this talk about responsible gun owners, well, you know, the people on the left that own guns, they're just way more responsible than Republicans who own firearms.
Please.
Just to have the Democrat Senate candidate will go ahead and fire off a round at a reporter, although I will say now he and Tim Walz can be friends because, you know, Tim Walz is friends with shooters. So,
right,
you know,
yes.
good for him.
He's a better shot than you are. At least that's what he told The View. And mind you, Tim Walz is the same guy that said he used to go hunting after football practice every night. But the time we saw him trying to load his shotgun, it looked like he was trying to stick it inside of his crotch.
Yeah, that was incredibly embarrassing. Although I will point out that I got in a little bit of trouble afterwards because I watched the whole video. And later on, you actually saw him carrying his – one of the reasons that you don't use a semi-automatic shotgun when you're doing the type of hunting that Tim Walz is doing is so that later on you can hold the gun broken open and it signals to everyone that you're not in danger of accidentally getting around, you know, like the reporter. So Tim Walz, when he was carrying his gun around after loading it into his crotch, he was like leveling the gun at reporters. And I said, hey, guys, that's dangerous because you should treat anything any gun owner knows, treat every gun like it's loaded.
It was like the end of that scene in Weird Science where they chase the where Anthony Michael Hall chases the biker gang away with that giant gun. It's a squirt gun, man, and he's like flailing it around, and everybody's ducking at everywhere he points, and he eventually blows off the chandelier. And really, this has all come full circle because if you remember, now that the Harris campaign has the endorsements of the Cheneys, Dick Cheney shot a guy while hunting back in the day, and the guy that he shot actually ended up apologizing to Dick Cheney.
That's a power move.
Do you remember that?
That's a Dick Cheney power move.
This has all come full circle here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the vice president shot me.
This is fantastic. This is the most entertaining election that I've ever seen. And if you're not enjoying the complete chaos and hilarity of this, you're doing it wrong.
100%. Again, imagine getting shot in the face from somebody and then apologizing to the person that shot you. Jeez. What is coming up tonight on the Tony Kinnett cast?
Well, we've got a little bit of an inside look at some leaks from the Harris-Walz campaign that I think, at least right now, they're not out in front of the public yet. So, you know I love being a tease, and let's just say tonight, some good stuff is coming out.
Oh, I like it.
There you go.
I like a good tease, and nobody does it better than the Tonus. At the Tonus on Twitter, the Tony Kinnett cast coming up after our show, 7 o'clock. Tony Kinnett, we appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Well, you hate even having to talk about it, but what's true is true. If you're single or a widowed woman, the stats aren't pretty. You run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. The last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, but flat broke. Discover the strategies, discover the answers that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy here in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. We don't put our names on just any random person here. It has to be somebody that is right for our audience and right for us. And trust us when we say you can count on Bill Demery. He explains things in a way that you can understand, and he's been really good for us. Call Bill Demery right now, 317-648-5120, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy, 317-648-5120.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas,